Okay, so I'm recording this message to my brother, to my half-sister, Marion, and to my mother. I'm recording this message to you three because you've been contacting my psychological therapist without my knowledge or my consent. You've been sending emails to my therapist without my knowledge or my consent. I'm recording this message to you because it disturbs me to such a degree what the three of you have done that the thoughts and the emotions are kind of taking up a lot of my conscious time. It's keeping me from being able to focus on the important work that I have before me. I have a lot to do every day. It's like 5:45 in the morning right now, and I've been up for a couple hours already working this morning. My schedule's shifted, but necessarily for the amount of work I'm doing. But it's been really hard to do my work because I've had thoughts and emotions welling up that are really uncomfortable, and they are directly related to what the three of you have done recently, which is not the first time the three of you have done this. Sent emails to people in my life without my knowledge, in an attempt to tell them things about my father, my grandfather, and make assumptions about me, suggestions about me, your thoughts and opinions about my life. Essentially what I perceive is that you're interjecting your narratives, your beliefs about things into my life and into the people in my life. And you're doing this mostly through emails without my knowledge. It really disturbs me. I've spoken with my psychologist about this at length, so and withholding my opinions of the situation. I'm trying to only share with you the realities, the facts of the actions that have happened and what can be interpolated from that information. I'm trying to avoid extrapolations, if you follow. But from what we can pull from the actions the three of you have taken, sending emails to my psychological therapist, who I've been having therapeutic sessions with to try and deal with my history of physical abuse, emotional abuse. I know, Mother, it's hard for you to accept the amount of abuse that you have the amount of trauma that you've caused me through psychological and emotional abuse. You've failed to talk to me about that every time I've tried to describe to you the trauma that I went through as a child. You have not even listened to me. You almost get too upset to hear what I have to say. And I perceive that you physically shut down. I see that you mentally become distant. Your gaze kind of goes soft and gestalt. I feel like you're no longer focusing on me, and you're actually operating from these preconceived notions in your mind. To me, it seems like the narrative you have of life is so ingrained in you, and the hatred you have in your heart towards my grandfather, Ray Martin, that hatred is so strong. Maybe you've never been able to forgive him, and it seems like that hatred has become a toxic, festering pool inside of you. And Ray Martin's no longer around anymore, so it's kind of been moved down the line to Rick Martin, and you have this unforgiving disdain, hatred towards Rick Martin, and it seems to have filtered down the line towards me. The way you talk about me through the emails you've sent to my therapist, and even years ago you sent several 28 pages of emails to that woman in LA who said she was a therapist but is not really, and got all that information from you that was going to be used against me in court. That scenario was so traumatic that I had to tell you to stop contacting me. I finally came around years later to forgiving you and trying to establish a relationship with you, and you actually told me never to come around. You said leave and don't come back. that was again so detrimental. It caused a lot of emotional trauma to me that have still tried to deal with, and I'm on a road to continually trying to forgive my mother for how she treats me in life. It really hurts me, but I understand that she probably has in her view of the world, in her narrative, she's doing what she thinks is best. I believe that. I'm trying to understand that, and I don't think she intends to hurt me, but I don't think she recognizes that she does continually. And so I have a battle to try and express to my direct immediate family members, my brother Michael, my half sister Marion, my mother Sherry. The three of you are very hurtful to me. The three of you have caused a lot of trauma in my life that I deal with, that I pay a professional psychologist to help me unravel the labyrinth of pain, recognize the issues that have almost fractured my psyche from childhood, to put me on a path of integrating all of this kind of senses of identities that I've built up in different forms and fashions, to help me figure out that authentic sense of self, so I can be confident in my worldview and my beliefs, so that I can act honestly with integrity, in a way that allows me to have a fulfilling life, sharing things with like-minded people that treat me with respect. That's what feels like family to me. And I found family in my life. I have a community of people that treat me with respect, that really think that the things I say and the things that I have to share are really interesting. There's a lot of people that build me up, and they think that the things that are unique about me are fascinating and wonderful. I've learned to call those people my family. I had to point that out to my psychologist, because when he asks me about my family, those people, that community comes to mind, not my biological family members. And he's asking me about my biological family members. So we had to have that clarity. Because family to me is a group of people that treat me with respect. They respect my basic human rights, and they think that I'm interesting. They listen to me when I speak. My biological family members don't treat me like that. My biological family members they're actually really hurtful. They actually don't listen to me, and the way they talk about me, to me it sounds like they're talking about somebody else. And when I try and have a conversation with them about that, they're really disrespectful to me and rude and hurtful, and the conversation becomes defensive, and there's a lot of passive aggression, and I try and avoid that. I'm recording this message to you, Michael, Marion, and Sherry, so that the three of you can understand a little bit more about me and what I go through on a regular basis, why I may seem to be isolating myself from you. I'm consciously attempting to separate from the three of you, because you've been traumatic and you continue to treat me in a way that is disrespectful and hurtful and damaging to my psychological and emotional health. I'm trying to be as courteous and open as possible. I don't have hatred towards you. I love the three of you for who you are. But who you are is a damaging person to who I am. And that means that we can't have a relationship unless you recognize that and start to act in a way that does not hurt me whenever we interact. So I hope you all understand that I love you for who you are, and I want to remain open to have a relationship with the three of you, but I cannot continue to do that if that continues to bring psychological trauma into my life, which has been the case thus far. I've had to change my phone number because of the harassing phone calls and text message I've gotten from my half sister Marion. I've actually tried to express to you, Marion, directly in the past that you're very violent, very hurtful. The things that you say that you don't even remember, because you say that you're blacked out and you're so drunk, I guess, that your consciousness is not in your body. However you describe it, you say that you're not responsible for your actions. But in those times, you are so damaging and so hurtful that I actually have to just cut you out of my life, because you fail to reflect and realize and change the way that you treat me. Now, most of that has been directed towards Marion's actions, but the three of you together have acted in a way that you've sent the emails to my therapist. What it underlines is that you emailed him without asking me if it's okay with me. What that shows is that the three of you do not consider my consent in that matter a necessary thing. You do not value my personal privacy. You don't value my experience in life and what I may be going through. As much as you believe that you're doing things for benevolent purposes for me, you all care about me, you've all stated that in your emails. None of you asked my therapist how I'm doing. What really matters more to me is none of you called me to ask me how I'm doing. What you actually brought forth in your emails to my therapist was information from your perspectives to try and give him what you thought was relevant information. It's actually quite narcissistic. It's pretty gross. I'm going to try and withhold my opinions of the situation, only leave you with the things that have happened and the real effects that has on family members in a relationship when they have been treated as I've been treated by you guys. So I'm just saying that I'm not asking anything from you, I'm not expecting anything from you, but the way that you've treated me has led me to take action to block communication from the three of you. It's traumatic, it's hurtful, psychologically and emotionally damaging, and I don't need any more of that in my life. I love the three of you, and I hope that you can understand this, and that maybe it will affect you. I don't need it to, and if you feel like you're better off, if you don't agree with anything I've said, and you feel like I'm totally wrong, or just have a totally wrong view of things, you're totally welcome to believe that, and I respect that. I just hope that you can learn to respect me in the same way. I think that's really what's most important for people in life, so that we can learn to just get along in light of our differences. That being said, I hope that you all continue to have wonderful lives. I just can't allow you to continue to be a part of my life because of the way that you continue to treat me. Maybe that will change in the future, but for now, please do not reach out to me. Do not try and contact me via email, phone call, text message. Do not try and get on my social networks. I've actually blocked you from my social networks because the reason I've stayed away from my online communities is because you became part of my online communities. So I really need you guys to stay away from me. I need you to not reach out to my therapist. Please do not try and find out. I may have to get a new therapist because the three of you have actually crossed legal boundaries in contacting my therapist. He's legally obligated not to respond to you because the information, it puts our relationship at risk of maintaining professionality. I may have to find a new therapist because you three have affected our capacity for a therapeutic relationship. You have literally crossed legal boundaries. I hope you can recognize what's happened, and maybe it will have an effect on you to maybe start to change your neurological disposition, your beliefs about life. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Like I said, I don't need it to. But as things stand, I don't appreciate the relationship that I've had with the three of you. While I do love you for who you are, I trust that if the three of you continue on your paths in life, you will learn the lessons you need to learn and have the experiences you need to have, and you will have fulfilling experiences. And I believe the three of you know what you're doing in life and can take care of lives on by yourself, and everything will be grand. You may agree with the things I've shared with you, or may disagree. That's up to the three of you. But I'm sure that if you believe and love in the God of Abraham, then He is with you, and He will work all things for good for those that love Him, and I truly believe that. So with that, I just want to say God bless you. Bye-bye.